This is the Bryton Rider S510. It's Bryton's new head unit, and I've been sent this by Bryton to try out. I've been using it over the last few weeks, and this video is about its main features, what I think of the Bryton, and whether there's anything that could be improved. A few of the standout features of the S510 is its 2.8-inch colour screen. It's got about 30 hours of battery life, which is normally more than enough for anyone. And it's got their Climb Challenge 2 feature, which we'll have a look at a little later in the video. Okay, so this is the Bryton S510. As you can see, it comes in a pretty small box. And what you get in the box. Well, this is the head unit. The thing I've noticed about it straight away is this socket, or this attachment, is removable, which means you can replace it if it breaks, or you could replace it with another one to fit the mount you might have. Anyway, so that's the head unit. It is touchscreen, and it has got 2 buttons that side and 2 buttons that side. In the box, you get a charging lead, which is USB-C, which is pretty universal nowadays. And you get various fittings if you want to fit it, for example, to your stem, and various O-rings there to do that. And you get a tether, in case you're worried about it coming off or you dropping it at some point. And you get the instruction manual. It is quite a basic guide in many languages, but that's because you do get, as usual nowadays, an app to go with it, and that helps you set it up. Okay, so the first thing you need to do when you unbox it and when you want to get it up and running is to download the active Bryton app. Once you've done that, if we have a look up here, you can see that once you've opened the app, you need to add your computer. That's pretty easy to do. You can scan a code, but mine pretty quickly just picked up there was a Bluetooth device, and as you can see, didn't take long before the computer was paired and ready to go. And like most computers nowadays, the Bryton can send you notifications and calls and all those sorts of things. So once you're in the app, you get your computer at the top there, you get some settings down the bottom, and it is a fairly easy, if you've used any of these apps before, it's a fairly easy app to navigate and to work out how to change settings and things like that. The computer does come with some screens ready set up, but they're completely customizable, so you can go in and choose which screen to use or how you want it presented. So once you're in the app, you can go to your ride configuration, and like some other apps, it's got rides set up for like road riding or off-road riding, and then you can go in and change your data pages. As you can see, there's quite a few already installed. Once you're in a page, you can then set up the data as you'd like it. One thing I like about the Bryton is because there is a fairly big screen, and it's a fair bit bigger than my Wahoo I've been used to, the Element Bolt. I can pretty much have all the data I ever use on one screen, and it's more than readable. So things like power, heart rate, elapsed time, cadence, distance, maybe things like that, you can all have on one screen. And then obviously you can scroll across. I tend to set up a second screen with sort of finishing data, maybe like total distance, average power over the ride and things like that. So data wise, there's an enormous amount of data you can use and set up on the screens. So I don't think you'd find it wanting in anything there. One little thing I've noticed is when you choose your the presentation of the data, as in imperial or metric, you just have to choose one or the other. So I tend to have a mixture of, because I'm in the UK, we often use miles, so I'm using miles for distance, but kg for weight. On this so far, unless there's a future software update, the data you choose is set as imperial or metric.
Okay, so one of the other main features of the Bryton S510 is its climb challenge feature. And like quite a few head units nowadays, you don't need to have a route for it to work. So if you're just riding along a road, this does have maps pre-installed, so it knows where you are. The GPS picks up very quickly. It will automatically flash up the climb challenge display, and you'll see the climb ahead. You'll see how far you've got to go, and you'll see other metrics to do with that climb. And when you get to the top, it cancels out that page and it goes back to the previous one. You can change the pages if you want to during the ride, and you can even switch it off if you need to too. I know some people who don't like the fact that they're sitting there watching how far there is to go on a climb and you've got another half an hour to go. It's not always the best news when you're suffering. Anyway, so I really like that feature. The Bryton also has turn-by-turn navigation. So again, you can use the app to set a route and download a route. You can click on route and find routes that are available, or you can explore and say, I want to go exploring for 10, 20, 30 miles, press go, and it'll automatically create a route of that distance for you, which is, I think, a really nice feature to have. If you're somewhere you don't know, maybe you're away for a weekend and you fancy a ride, you don't really know the area, you can just say, give me a 30-mile loop, and it will do that. So that's a really nice feature. So as I said, it has got routing, it has got turn-by-turn navigation, and it's also got rerouting if you go off route. Also, setting up any other accessories you've got, like heart rate monitors or power meters or Di2, is very easy to do. Once you've got onto the computer, you just click the configure button, go to sensors, and it will list all the sensors you've got, and just press plus and it picks up anything nearby. And I found all my sensors were picked up very quickly, very easily. And for routing, it does connect to a variety of GPS satellites, so it is pretty quick at picking up your position. The head unit itself has lots of other features built in. I couldn't go through them all now. It would take quite a long time to look at them all in detail, but it has got things like live track, group riding. You can use it to control trainers and do workouts, and there's some workouts built in, but you can create them. So it's a fully functioning head unit on par with most other head units I've seen, I would say. It hasn't got solar power, it hasn't got a battery life that'll go on and on and on, but 30 hours for me is more than, well, I could easily leave it for a week or two and probably find it's still charged up at the end of that time. Okay, so that's some of the main features of the Bryton. Let's see what it's like out on the road. So how does the Bryton Rider S510 perform out on the road? Well, it does exactly what you think it's going to do. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been using it and I haven't had any issues at all. The data is really nice and clear to see. The pages are set up now just as I want. Takes a bit of a tweaking to get them exactly how you like, but all in all, I've been very impressed. It does everything you really need a computer to do. As I said, it might not do things like have solar power, hasn't got a wind sensor, but when it comes to the basics of ride data and the climb challenge and all those sorts of things, it's excellent. Another thing I really like about the Bryton app is the amount of data analysis you can do afterwards of your ride, whether it's the power averages or best power averages over a certain period and things like that. It's a really comprehensive set of data. And as you can see, if you tap the screen, you get notifications coming up, time, and other quick info that you've set up on the computer. So average speed, you can do power calibration from here if you've got a power meter and things like that. So that's always quite useful. Maps, it's got a whole host of maps that are already on the device for wherever you are in the world pretty much. And if you want to navigate, if you scroll up, you can go on navigation. You can even tell it where to go. Let's see if it works. Burley. And hopefully pretty quickly it will navigate or give me a route to Burley, which is a village not too far away from me. Okay, so there we go, a route has been suggested. So it was telling me I was off route, but it has now rerouted me, and I know the way we're going is the way to the destination. So as with most devices, if you don't want the mapping on, you can swipe away and it will give you directions when you need them, and it's rerouted me. So the navigation's working pretty well. You can download routes, you can upload routes, you can set a destination before you start, or as you can see I did, you can set one when you're out and about, and it all works very effectively. And the screens do change with gloves. Sometimes you have to do it a couple of times. I guess it depends how good your gloves are for using on phones and things like that. It's now got me on the route it originally wanted me to go on. So navigation is pretty good, I think. Certainly more than I'd ever need. So these units should retail at around €200, I think. I'll put the information in the description below. Yeah, it's funny because I have gone off route and I know I can go the way I'm going up here, but it still wants me to turn around. So maybe it is shorter if I go back. It hasn't quite cottoned on to the idea that I can go up here and get to the same spot. If you're interested in finding out more about this Bryton S510 or buying one, I'll drop a link in the description below and hopefully on screen now if I've got one. Are there any negatives? Well, not a huge amount. The only thing I've noticed recently is things like I said originally, I'd like to be able to put data not just as imperial or metric and be able to mix them up a bit. The screen is colour and I can see colours quite clearly from here, but it's not quite as bright as some head units might be. So there's that. And although I'm on a climb challenge hasn't come up at the moment, probably because I was messing around, turning around, looking at the sat nav. But on the normal map or profile page, you can go and you can see the climb you're on as well, so you don't have to necessarily go into climb challenge. So would I recommend the S510? Well, yeah, I would. If you're looking for a computer that sort of does everything you need to, including good navigation, it's got the climb challenge on it too. It does fulfill the needs of most people. So all in all, it is certainly on my list of computers I'd go to. So I hope you found this video useful and showed you what you needed to know about the Bryton S510. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer them. Until next time, bye for now.